Has Wall Street become more ethical since you and I were there in the 90s?
I think that it reached a crescendo of zero ethics back in like 2006, 7. It was like mass craziness, right?
So it got worse from when you were there.
I think worse, and then after that shock to the system, I think things have gotten better. But I think things are starting to drift back again somewhat. Like what happens is if you look, you remember after the GFC, like the stated income,
this is
like
the crash, right?
After the global financial crisis, everyone was like,
07, 08,
we'll
right.
never, mortgages have to be for people that qualify. If you go now, it's almost back to the same thing again.
People giving out mortgages, Okay.
Yeah, you're going back to slowly.
It's all a cycle. We
right?
see
It's
it,
like
right?
it's unbelievable. They go back. Memories are short, right? So, I think that it's always going to have that sort of like it goes around and around, and at any given time. But even here's one other point to consider. Even in the worst of times, one thing that you want to remember is that it's not like everyone on Wall Street's corrupt. It's probably even in the worst time, 15%. Most people are trying to do it right.
Yeah.
Not and then it's only that little sliver is enough to destroy everything, right? And that's the problem,
And why do they push it? Why do guys like you want to push it? Look, I was at Bankers Trust, and a couple years later they got indicted, and then they got RICO run against them because they were shown to be doing it to multiple corporates. It was racketeering. I mean, they threw at them what they threw at Al Capone.
I know.
Because they were doing these trades into Procter and Gamble and this kind of thing.
So I'll tell you what it's about. It's like the best lesson for me was coming back from what happened, going to jail, losing everything, coming back and building another business. So what happens very often is that, when you make money so fast on Wall Street, you don't really build anything. You're buying and selling and trading the ingenuity of others. There's no way to really feel like, how do you put value on what you're doing?
Is it an empty existence somewhat?
Exactly. And that's exactly what it, so some people tend to feel it. So what do? Well, you then only have money is the only barometer of what you're doing. So, and then money, it's in the bank. So you have to buy something to make it real. So you buy a huge house, a yacht, a jet. So then that feels really great for like a minute. And then I got to buy a bigger house and a bigger yacht. And it becomes like, so, you don't really, money, as I always say, money's like alcohol. It amplifies. It doesn't change you. If someone's an asshole and they drink, they're a giant asshole when they're drunk, right? But if someone's an awesome, funny person, when they drink, they're the life of the party, right? Money's very similar. It's not going to make you anything that you're not, but it'll make you more of what you are. So what happens to a lot of people, it just amplifies the bad and amplifies the good as well, right? So I think in terms of the GFC, what you saw happening was it was sort of like it's like self-feeding. Everyone was in on it, from the homeowner who bought a house, who knew that he really couldn't afford.
The victims.
And then when to the mortgage broker who said to him, so what do you make? He goes, 75. How much do you make? You make more like 100, right? Because that's what you need to call 100, yeah. And what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a assistant. Assistants don't make. Well, aren't you an executive assistant? So the mortgage brokers teaching the homeowners how to lie. The underwriters looking the other way because their boss saying, just approve it because we'll sell it to Wall Street. Wall Street saying, we don't care because we're selling it to Iceland. The rating agency saying, well, if I don't do it, then the other one will do it. And everybody was like in on it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, this is really sad, but countries like Iceland and Greece, they were the ones that really bore the huge brunt of this. It was a gigantic lump of crap, but everybody was sort of complicit in this giant lie. I was in the industry, and I'll tell you, here's what happened. I was in the mortgage industry, and the first time I didn't know anything about subprime loans. I was always an A borrower, my adult days. And a friend of mine said, "Hey, let's go into business together with mortgages." It's like 2001, right when the refi boom started, right? And first client I got, they wanted to refi the house. Credit came back; they were like a 540 credit score. They didn't get approved through Fannie Mae. So I figured, we'll call option one. I'm like, oh, they're that subprime. Yeah, girl comes in, she looks along. Oh, okay, I could do a 7.5% loan here on a 228, 2 years fixed, 28, and a variable rate. At the time that she said 7.5%, the fixed rate was 7%. I'm like, it's only a 0.5% difference between someone who's got perfect credit and this person who's basically a credit criminal. I'm like, how could they afford to do this? I'm saying, but I guess the bankers have it figured out on what, like everyone thought someone else had it figured out. Like they wouldn't be that stupid as to allow this to happen. So everybody thought that someone else was watching the shop. I had a great friend, a partner at Goldman Sachs, and what were you guys thinking? He goes, we didn't think real estate prices ever go down. Like everyone had their own thing they were looking at about why it wasn't a problem because someone else had it covered, And at the end of the day, it works until it doesn't work, and then it's a disaster.